Hello, I'm Jeffrey Quintero, and in this program, we're going to see one of the main reasons why we are already being successful, and we will continue to be successful in developing this first phase of our establishment, which is to grow and be active in all 50 states. And it is the idea that our presidency is in itself an idea for which time has come. Our presidency is the solution for we, the people, having always lacked an effective medium for aggregating our voices and, in so doing, consolidating our power to influence the way our government serve us. The consequences of having always lacked such a medium have been costly, but maybe we haven't been aware because when we don't have a solution to a problem, the problem and its consequences are usually taken as this is the way things are. In this case, when we look into it, you'll see how costly this has been for we the people in terms of an opportunity that we haven't been able to develop yet or so far. For instance, what has always happened when we vote and elect a president? What happens after that? Well, usually nothing, because beyond voting, we the people haven't had any uh, method of influencing our democracy and our own governance in any significant way. So far in the past, when we the people vote, the process of governance is surrendered back to three major forces. One is the gridlock from partisan competition that renders the Congress ineffective and dysfunctional. Two is the perennial need the officials have in having to campaign two-thirds of their time a year. And three, corruption from lobbyist influence. Our political reality has been so far that our government will serve us only after serving these three very powerful and Washington entrenched forces. The second costly consequence of having lacked a system to aggregate our voices and leverage our power can be seen when we look at what usually has happened to the promises made to us by those who we have elected into office. Well, nothing much really happens after a new president and a new Congress official go into their office. Uh, the government they're supposed to system of government they're supposed to govern, and the as well as the mass media who's supposed to monitor such governance immediately and spontaneously go into a new phase of our democracy where we the people do not really seem to be involved whatsoever. After the elections, politicians, political pundits, and the mass media in general begin a new conversation that totally ignores all the campaign promises that were made to us, the people, and as if we, the people, are not to expect those promises to be fulfilled, because after all, historically, they almost never are fulfilled. And another costly consequence we, the people, have been incurring can be seen when we look at what happens with citizen participation after the elections. And again, we'll see that nothing really happens either, as if after the November elections, everything is supposed to go back to normal. And that normal being go back to business as usual, to repeat this cycle of broken promises, ideas unrealized, and having no one to blame or take responsibility, because we do not, as a people, as a nation, as a country, we do not have a vehicle to hold our government accountable for those promises that have been made. And sadly, we, the people, in response, begin to dissociate with those that we put in power and begin to complain once again about why they do not seem to be able to deliver what they promise. And worse yet, we continue accepting what is today a broken democracy, broken into two different segments of the population, performing two different phases of governance or influence of self-governance. One is the process of actually electing the officials performed by a widely segmented population of voters. And two, the process after the elections, which is the actual influencing the government on what the government will do, performed by very powerful and very well organized lobbyist groups. And this so far has been our political history. But now, through OurPresidency.com, the story of our political history can begin to change, because we now can, and so we will, make the change we need to put our country first. So what new shall we the people do, because this time we can? This time, because we have the internet, we can begin to use OurPresidency.com as a new medium to build our own participatory governance platform. This time, because we, the people, individually have accumulated hundreds of connections across the country with others who supported our preferred candidate, can continue to foster those connections and those discussions to formalize a national grassroots initiative and movement that will be a truly integral representation of who the people in America are. So imagine what you, within our presidency, can do. Imagine, we the people, because we now can do, empower ourselves to direct our governance.